I friggin' love this film, man. I mean, who doesn't? This film was so popular that every film which was remotely similar to Die Hard was being called Die Hard on a bus, Die Hard on Air Force One, Die Hard on a ship, Die Hard on a friggin' mountain. It's a really popular film, and obviously so. But why is it so special? Why do we enjoy the very first Die Hard over its knockoffs, over the films which are clearly just imitating it? And it's not because it's the first one to do it. So let's sit down and talk about why we love Die Hard. First of all, the time period. In the 1980s, the two biggest stars were Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. No one looks like these guys, and not a lot of people will ever look like them, but honestly, not a lot of people want to look like them either. I mean, with Stallone's face and Arnold Schwarzenegger's accent, no one wants that. Bruce Willis was the guy all of us could be, a wisecracking smartass who doesn't look like a son of the Hulk. We can relate to Bruce Willis as well. He's a wife beater. Oh wait, I'm so sorry. I mean, he wears a wife beater. That makes a lot of sense now as to why every woman I've been with has left me. You know, because I beat them up while wearing my wife beater. Someone please date me. But aside from that, he doesn't really seem like a special person either. He's never been in a limo, he doesn't dress fancy, he has personal problems. He's presented as a human being and not a god. It shows in his speech as well. I would totally say something like this.
Attention, whoever you are, this channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
No fucking shit, lady! Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
Rather than this.
You know who I am?
I've seen you before. You're the asshole on TV.
I do wish I had Arnold's timing and encyclopedia of puns on hold, like he always seems to. He's such a cool guy. See, at the time, in the 80s, all these action heroes were larger than life. Their stories weren't, but these characters were larger than life. Not just in their looks, but also their adversaries. Arnold and Stallone both took out a whole friggin' army on their own in Commando and Rambo 3. Arnold even beat up a monster from space in Predator. In Die Hard, the threat is rather realistic. It's not an army. It's a bunch of terrorists, and these terrorists have a level of intimidation from John McClane, and we obviously know that John McClane is afraid of these guys. It's the numbers game. Throughout the film, however, no one ever becomes the sole predator. Both Gruber and McClane are predators hunting their prey, but still being aware of each other's skills. It's like a mongoose fighting a snake. The film wastes absolutely no time in establishing that John McClane is a fish out of water. This is foreign territory for our guy. The first 15 minutes of the film, he's in a different city with a completely different atmosphere. We learn that he's a cop, a regular cop, not super cop. He's not presented as a super badass, which is what ends up making him a super badass throughout the film. He's put in an extraordinary situation and succeeds. It lets us, the audience, vicariously live through him. All of Joe Schmoes were given hope that someday, in an extraordinary situation, we could be like John McClane as well. But see, there's more reasons why we love Die Hard. It puts characters before action. See, we as an audience will only care for the action if we care about the characters. And even if we don't care about the characters, we need to know them at least. Notice how many conversations this film has. It's almost a 3-to-1 ratio of conversations to action. The conversations are all great, might I add, especially every scene with Hans Gruber. Now, since Die Hard is a masterpiece, no doubt it spawned many ripoffs and rehashes, and in my opinion, it's only worked for a few films. One of them is Speed, and the other is Air Force One. Now, don't kill me, but I think Speed is better than Die Hard. But it's because it took the Die Hard formula and added more intensity to it. The tension took place on a moving platform rather than a stationary building. But everything else that film contains is absolutely Die Hard. The secondary characters who happen to have some character development, in this case, the bus passengers, and in Die Hard's case were the terrorists alongside Hans Gruber. Plus, there's more than one threat in the film. Although they have a main plot, there are roadblocks in both of our heroes' stories. In Speed, apart from the main threat being that the bus is eventually gonna explode, we have the bus leap, the tip over, the sub-narrative of finding Dennis Hopper. In Die Hard, we have the idiots from the FBI, McClane not having a gun, and his wife being taken hostage. On a completely unrelated note, isn't it sad that Dennis Hopper left us? Because if they ever make a film about Donald Trump as president, if he ever became president, Dennis Hopper would be absolutely perfect as Donald Trump. Don't you think? Sound off in the comments below. Oh, by the way, I'm aware that he left out a very popular Die Hard type film off of my list, that being Under Siege, but that's because the wall I'm staring at has more personality than Steven Seagal. And also, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this as well. But I like Under Siege 2 more than 1. Ships don't allow for interesting settings, guys. Did you not see Speed 2? Oh. Okay then, I guess I'm wrong. By the way, I'm aware Under Siege 2 is utter crap, but it's that good kind of crap. You know the kind when you wipe your ass and there's nothing on the toilet paper? It's still shit, but at least it doesn't dirty up anything. Boy, I went off on a tangent there, didn't I? I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, now let's compare the original Die Hard to some recent Die Hard knockoffs. Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down, aka Die Hard in the White House. They're only memorable for being recent, nothing else. Remind me what's going on in those films, apart from each of these characters carrying singular traits of McClane. Channing Tatum had the snarky McClane down, and Gerard Butler had the angry John McClane down. They weren't the whole package, and they didn't possess enough traits. That's why they're not memorable characters or memorable movies. See, they're just ripping off the plot of Die Hard without adding an interesting character, thinking the film will be an automatic hit. But those two films are relatively bad movies. Let's get into why some other Die Hard knockoffs, which are really good movies, but they're not memorable at all. Let's take a look at Die Hard on a Mountain, which is Cliffhanger, and my guilty pleasure, Under Siege 2. This is sort of an extension to the very first point I made. How much damage does Steven Seagal take in Under Siege 2? None. Look at the ending of Die Hard. Look at how busted up and bloodied up John McClane is. And now look at Under Siege 2. Steven Seagal looks like he's completely unscathed. That's in part because he has a massive ego and didn't want to get hit in the film. To add to that, Steven Seagal's character is incredibly cocky as well. And not in the once in a while I'm cocky, but in the I'm always a badass cocky way. John McClane was vulnerable every single second of the film, and he was scared for his life and questions how he got into this shit.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
When things went south in Under Siege 1 and 2, Steven Seagal never questioned why he's gotten into this shit. He was completely prepared for that situation. Cliffhanger? Well, let's look at how ripped Stallone is, completely forgetting the core of Die Hard. I just want to put it out there that oversaturation plays into this as well. Guys, Die Hard's been done. The series has 4 friggin' sequels and a stupid prequel on the way. Now, another reason Die Hard is an incredible film is because of its realism. Now, before you guys go nuts, I know it's not a realistic film, but it builds its own realistic world. I am okay with a movie breaking real-world logic as long as it sets up its own logic, like the Matrix series or a film like Inception. Now, what's realistic about Die Hard? The time lock on the vault. It seems like a plausible countermeasure a company would take, and it uses that exact property to advance the plot. What else? John McClane's bloody feet. That is one of my favorite plot points in a film ever. Our main character has been given a physical handicap, which also factors into the plot. That's a realistic injury one could have. Obviously, in real life, he'd be dead, but again, it's the world that the film is building. Plus, the film's terrorists have realistic goals. They just want money. It's not some overblown and stupid political thing like in Olympus Has Fallen. And not to say that that hasn't worked. It worked in Air Force One, but that's because Gary Oldman was the main actor. He'll make you believe anything. Die Hard has simple characters who have rather complex character paths and motivations. It's not an overcomplicated film, which makes it accessible to regular audiences, and film buffs can appreciate it as well. And also, for all you new film buffs, J.J. Abrams wasn't the first person to popularize lens flares. It was John McTiernan in Die Hard. Seriously, this movie is loaded with lens flares. And if you're interested, read up the stories behind the cinematography of Die Hard. Equally interesting as the film, in my opinion. But yes, people, those are the reasons we love Die Hard, or at least why I love Die Hard. And not the many knockoffs it has produced. It's just so funny how simple the film really is on its surface. Everything worked out so perfectly, like lightning in a bottle. Bruce Willis was filming on a TV show simultaneously, and the hard work he put into this film translates onto the screen. John McTiernan's direction is super friggin' stylish. The cinematographer of this film went on to direct Speed, and Alan Rickman went on to be known as one of the greatest on-screen villains ever. It's an utterly brilliant film which will stand the test of time. So if anyone ever asks you why you love Die Hard, or if any future filmmakers and current film students are watching this video, thank you by the way, and if you are ever asked to break down the brilliance of Die Hard, just memorize this video. Or better yet, just keep watching it and keep showing it to your friends. Thanks so much for watching, people. It really means a lot. I just joined Reddit, by the way, and I'm really confused as to what to do there. So along with me, post this video on the internet's front page, that being Reddit. If you enjoyed this video, please share it obviously with your friends as well. That would mean a lot. And obviously hit that free subscribe button, people. Thanks again, people, and I will be seeing you on my channel very soon in the form of a movie review, an episode of The Movie Doctor, or something completely different. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Cheerio.